Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Like I mentioned in the last video, we're working on Panzerwagen today. And instead of upgrades, we're actually fixing it. We're suspecting that the flywheel broke on it. It has a dual mass flywheel, and over time they do break. This is what they look like. Basically, there's springs inside here, and they could break, causing starting issues, or it could be catastrophic and it could knock a hole in the transmission. Luckily, I think we caught this in time, so we don't have to worry about replacing the transmission. But basically today we're going to be replacing this, and hopefully it'll run again. So let's get started, huh? Also in Volkswagen fashion, we have all brand new bolts. We got a flywheel lock tool here, pilot bearings, all brand new bolts. So hopefully at the end of the day, this thing should be back on the road. All right, to get started, I'm gonna get everything out of the way up here. I'm gonna take out the intake, battery, the battery tray, basically everything that is right here, so I can get down into the trans. And then I'm gonna lift this thing up, drain some coolant, and yeah, started working on the trans. Alright, got everything out of the way. Took the charge pipe out so I can get to the top bolts and the shifter linkage right there. And yeah, now I'm gonna take off the hoses for the transmission cooler and then cap those off, and then we'll lift this thing up and see what it looks like underneath it. Alright, we got the axles loose. This side was a little pain in the behind, but we got that bolt out. We're going to take the CVs out completely. And then I just got these loose, and then we'll take those apart once we're ready to get the trans out, because I don't want to have a mess of coolant everywhere. And yeah, it's getting there. It should be pretty simple, hopefully. Alright guys, we got pretty much everything on the bottom off, the dog bone, the axles, everything from down below. Got all the bolts out from the bottom side of the trans. Doing the old humble mechanic special right here, so we don't lose track of where the bolts go. And now we're just going to take apart everything up top. Take the starter out. Gonna do the cooler, do the mount, and I have I don't know the name of it, but the bar that hooks to the engine, so we can lower that down and drop the trans. But yeah, we're almost there. Hopefully we'll get this trans out really soon. Alright, got all the bolts out besides this one that's inside the starter. Don't forget about that. But everything up top is disconnected. And yeah, I'm gonna get that bolt out, put the bar on top, hold the engine up, and then we can drop the trans out. Well, we got the trans out. I figured we could get this out without taking out the subframe. As you can tell, it's a WRC style subframe, but we had to loosen the subframe drop down slightly. It's still somewhat in there, but that was what was holding us up. So finally got the trans out. The flywheel, I'll show you more once we get that off, but it's making some weird noise, and the movement isn't quite right compared to the brand new one. So we're gonna take that off right quick and compare the two. Yeah, that one seems like it's completely seized up, and it's making some weird noises inside of it. But this one moves freely. So there's definitely an issue with this other one. So I guess it's a good thing we took this thing apart. But yeah, we're gonna put that one back in, and we need to figure out how to get the pilot bearing out. We rented a tool from O'Reilly's and it doesn't quite fit, so we're gonna figure something out for that. But yeah, we'll be back soon. Alright, we're back from Harbor Freight again. We had to get a puller for the pilot bearing. That's out, and we're gonna get the new one back in. And yeah, then just reverse of everything else we did today. Hopefully it goes just as smoothly. Well, good morning, guys. It's about a week later since I last touched the old Panzerwagen here. Where we left off, we were putting in the pilot bearing. That's installed right now, and now I just have to put the flywheel on and then trans back in, and we're doing a little extra to this car back there. But if you want to know how to do all the exhaust stuff, like take out, you know, work with around the DPF and all that, you can watch the turbo video. We're not going to cover that on this one. But yeah, let's get started. I plan on finishing this car today, so let's get to work. All right, on the flywheel, it may be hard to see, but if you really look at it, you can tell that some of the holes are closer to each other than the rest. So it's going to be the same way on the crank, so you just got to line this up and then bolt it down. Alright, that's bolted down. I just need to torque it. I'm gonna get the flywheel holder, then start torquing these down. Well, of course I forgot something before putting the flywheel on, so I'm gonna have to take that back off right quick. Good thing I didn't torque it, but I forgot that. So yeah, I feel like everyone forgets the intermediate plate, but I'm gonna remove the flywheel again, put that back on, and then I'll get to torquing everything down. So I'm gonna do that right quick and then get back to the video. Alright, got the flywheel torqued down. 60 Newton meters plus 90 degrees, which is pretty tight. Maybe too tight, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, Volkswagen, but it's time to put the trans in. Alright guys, finally got the trans in. It was kind of being a pain in the butt, but it's in. Everything's bolted down. We got the mount loose, but we got to make sure everything's lined up properly, and then we'll tighten it down and torque it down. But right now, while Hayden is going to go get coolant, I'm going to go ahead and finish everything up here. Need to connect the shifter, coolant lines, put the starter back in, just connect all the little things, and then by the time he gets back, everything should be done. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll fill it up with coolant, and yeah. All right, everything on the trans is now connected. Got the shifter linkage, all the hoses, starter, the ground strap down there. Everything's connected up here. So now we just need to connect some cooling lines in the back, and yeah, and then now I'm just waiting on Hayden to get back here with some coolant. All right, guys, I'll talk to you here in a minute. All right, guys, last time I talked to you, I finished everything up here. But now we just got the subframe back in, connected all the cooling lines, and now we're going to torque down the subframe and make sure everything else is tight, and then we're going to bleed the coolant. We got to do a vacuum bleed on it. So yeah, we're going to get started torquing the subframe down. What's the spec to it?
70 newton meters plus 90.
70 newton meters plus 90 degrees. So yeah, we're gonna do that right quick.
Oh shit, it's not in park.
No, it's not. Alright guys, moment of truth. Everything is connected. Let's see if this thing starts.
Ready?
Yep. Well, it starts. Next test is to see if it drives.
Ready?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it runs, it drives. It sounds better than when it came in. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more.